Welcome to the house of darkness podcast.
What's up, everybody? It's Brother Darkness 84 and friends. We are here for Motivational Madness Monday. What is that? That is where chop it up, chat, talk about not only motivating each other to be better, do better, and feel better, also dealing with mental health, taking mental health face on. Um, no fear, no loneliness here. We're all trying to fight this every day, and the people that say they never deal with it are just ignoring what they should be doing. So we face it head on. I would like to introduce some amazing friends here. We have Bon. We got Adden. Say it one more time.
Oh. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go.
Adnamar.
Adnamar. We have Adnamar, super good, super great person, super supportive, super fucking sweet, and not for the foolishness. Since I've known you so far, you say what you feel, and that's pretty much everybody in here. And of course, we have Miss Jinkies, my neighbor, just ate food and drunk a beer. No, still playing. It wasn't a beer. Like what? Y'all, thank y'all for being here. Today's topic, y'all, we're going to touch base on boundaries, and we'll probably venture off and do other things. If anybody's here anytime, please make sure you take the time to go hit the likes on there. We're going to shoot for 10 likes. We'll probably get like, but we'll see how it goes. By the way, y'all are back here. Thanks everybody for being here tonight. So, ladies, um, I know as a woman in this crazy world, you have to set a lot of boundaries for people in your life. Um, because people test your gangster quite often. Uh, some people mistake being kind for flirty energy. A lot of things that y'all have to deal with and set boundaries for in your life. That also comes to friendships and discords and your streams and everything else. And I just want to know from me to y'all, how do you balance the boundaries in your life, not only as a woman but as a creator? Who feel like taking the mantle? Adam Marcy, you're new and want to go ahead and pop it off. I don't pick. I'm picking.
Listen, I don't have much experience as far as creating and being a gamer. Well, not really a gamer, but just being like on social media and all that. I don't have that experience. Um, but when it comes to boundaries, like certain people will say snide, slick remarks on the side just because, first is the stigmatism if you're a gamer and you're a female. Only guys game. And then there's the stigmatism of if you're a person of color and you game. That's the whole thing. And I don't really have a lot of experience when it comes to that, but um
It could be somebody coming in your room when you're not wanting. It could be somebody, you have a juice in the fridge and you tell them, "Hey, don't touch my juice." They get you boundaries. It's not limited to anything in this conversation. It's pretty much any boundary you set. Now I know probably you can't really think of nothing off the top of your dome, but I promise you, you have
bad with
something that you haven't
boundaries.
thought about.
I'm bad with boundaries. I'm
Oh, you just
I,
let
I'm
people just
that
do whatever?
typical. I used to be that person. I'm gotten better at that, but I also don't be around a lot of people because of that, because I know how I am. So I lived a sheltered life. I'll admit that, because
I can
my mama didn't.
definitely
My mama
say
didn't play. My mama didn't play. So I lived a sheltered life. But when she passed away, I did have to learn the whole boundaries thing, and it's tough at times to keep your boundaries, because when you don't have them and you try to build them up, a lot of people that were your friends at one point in time in your life, when you start building those walls, don't like to accept that. They like to push your buttons or be like, "Oh, you're changing. Oh, you're doing this, you're doing that. You didn't used to do that. Oh, this would be cool any other time." And that can be tough. Like you lose some people sometimes, or the dynamic just changes, and sometimes some people's not okay with that, and that's tough.
that's the
So
thing about the boundary though. Like it is tough, trust me. But when you get to the point of setting your boundaries and people that don't understand them, are they really your friends? Have they ever really been your friends, or were they your friends because you let them do whatever they wanted to? And once you let them know what was possibly going on with you, or the things that bothered you or made you uncomfortable, they were uncomfortable because they couldn't take advantage of you or disrespect you or roast you or whatever you were uncomfortable with. Those
mhm.
people are not your friends. Trust me, I've had to set a lot of boundaries, especially in this content world, quite often, and people constantly cross them. But if 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 I come to your house and you tell me, "Don't sit on this couch right here. Spot is very important. Like a spot right here that's very important. Nobody sits here. Like somebody important was always sit here. This is their seat. Don't sit here." And I'm like, "Well, my feet are tired. I'm gonna sit here real quick. All right." And you sit down anyway, then we have a problem. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I'm tired of people sitting in the seat that I don't. So I'm going to tell you, hey, I appreciate you being here, but you don't respect my boundaries, so we're not. And I want to,
Yeah.
and that's why we're here for this mental motivational speech talking, because I want you to grow that thick skin, grow that that energy and that mental state, knowing that you also have people to talk to that feel very similar to you. You know what I'm saying? I think, most of us lost somebody very important in our lives that really helped us with a lot of things. Whether it was like directly or indirectly, meaning like they were hands on with you or they were a piece of shit, but because they were a piece
You
of
learn.
shit, you knew not to be like them. You know what I mean? And I think, it's important to have people to talk to about it. So I appreciate you sharing that, and we're gonna work on that because you're a very sweet person. You're very supportive. I didn't know how close you and Miss Jinkies were, and then I realized I was like, that's super cool. I feel like y'all probably talk every day and stuff. Jinkies a really good person to talk to. Just like, hey, just for no reason, how you doing today? That's people don't do that a lot. And I appreciate that. It's just that little time. Hey, how you doing? Doing good? Doctor visit was great. Good. And then it opens the door. Most people just want to jump in and start talking about what problems they have. But like, if I jump in, hey, how you doing? How you doing? What's going on with you? Then I'm gonna talk about what I got going on too. You know what I mean? But I think it's very good. Jinky, what kind of boundaries have you had to set for yourself in your life? Because I know you've been through a lot of shit with the what we call them fuck that dude.
Yeah.
Fuck that dude and shit. The boundaries you had to set had to be probably pretty strong since then. And were they really lax then before then? And you think that could have maybe altered some things?
I think my problem was before that dude was I had boundaries, but I had let them go lax because at the time in my life I was desperate and alone, and I thought that the only way to get anywhere, because I was like, I must have super high walls that nobody can cross, so I might as well just tear some of them down. And that was the biggest mistake I ever made. And you never need to tear down your boundaries. If they're there, they're set. They're for you. They're for your protection. And don't let your mind think that you're not good enough because of those boundaries. And that's where my problem lies. It still kind of lies there. Because it took me 6 years to really open up again. And I'm like, those boundaries were broken, and I can't seem to build them back up. So I'm still struggling with boundaries today, but there are some that I'm adamant about. And like nowadays, it's like, I don't like people who I don't know. Like if I first meet you, I don't want to be touched. Like, don't touch me and we'll be great. So that's kind of one of my hard boundaries that I have now.
Like one of those hard lessons you learned, like, had the boundaries up for a good reason. And we all get around somebody that we're comfortable with, friends, relationship, family, and we let the boundaries down and they mistreat that. And then you're like, you know what? For sure, not only are my boundaries back up, I'm building an additional wall. And I don't want you to fucking touch me at all. I'll let you know I'm ready to be touched or want to talk or be around people and stuff like that. I'm weird like that. I mean, even Vaughn sometimes. Vaughn like disappears, does whatever Vaughn wants to do. And by the way, Vaughn, I could tell your face looks thinner, by the way. I meant to tell you that yesterday. So keep doing your thing. But it's I thought about your face and I was like, okay. Vaughn, boundaries for you. I think all of our lives are a little different, and I know you've been through some shit too in your life and things like that. And what boundaries have you had to set for yourself, and what like things happened to you where it made you have to, or you had to adjust?
Okay, so my boundaries as well come through in relationship, and I want to say Ad, can I call you Ad? I can't read that right
Yeah,
now.
I say Ad too.
Ad, condolences about your mother. I'm sorry to hear that. Coming from a puppy love kind of relationship, I was deep into it and he wasn't. And I put everything into it, and he he toyed with me 3 times, and I had to let it all go. But with that, I had to build a wall inside myself that makes me have the inability to fully trust people, even him. Um, so it's like I can't. And I've even discussed it to him. He hates it, but I tell him it's who I am. I can't break it down. Every time I try to, it builds right back up. And it might be a little bit of an insecurity thing as well, where that wall also comes from. But for the most part, it does come from previous relationships. I have a very hard time trusting people, and until I get to know you better, that wall is going to be completely up, especially with people who I'm not going to be in a relationship with, like friends and certain family. Right now, I'm losing trust in my family, especially my mom and my stepdad, because I mean, I had a very big emergency call when I had food poisoning, and it seemed like neither of them gave a shit. So I'm having hard trusting family, people I just meet. Like I'll be completely honest, I won't be myself around this person until I get to know them much better. You know what I'm saying? And still, I wouldn't be the full person that I am with you compared to her, because I I feel like, I mean, I just it's hard to say that I just can't trust everybody. I can't trust
Yeah, and I
anyone.
know our friendship is weird because, like me, I'm very open and weird with the people up front. I want you to know that I'm going to say random shit. I'm going to be weirdly aggressive at times. I'm going to be aggressive on really wanting you to be the best person that you can be. And I know I can't force you to do that. I can't force anybody to want to do that. You have to do it on your own time. But I'm really, really dedicated to my friends, and you've got to know that. And I'm pretty open at first, so like it's kind of easier to get comfortable with me. But I know some people, it might take a little bit of but Vaughn, you're also a person that are really engaging with people, and I think people are very comfortable with you. Like some of the younger people, especially, they come to you when they having bad times because they feel like they can come to you and talk. And I think it's just an engaging vibe that we all give off that makes people comfortable enough to confide in. Hey, what's up, Yellow? Welcome to Motivational Madness Mondays with Ad, Jinx, and Vaughn. We are just really opening up and talking about our boundaries and everything we had to deal with. My boundaries came from family stuff, mostly. Growing up, I've had a lot of family shit, and it tapered off into where I kind of faded away from family, and I let my boundaries down around new friends and shit, because I felt like, hey, y'all actually listening to me and hanging out with me and spend time and things. And then I had learned not quick enough, after a lot of disrespect and shit, I had to set boundaries for everybody, and it kind of set my tone for today. Like, I'm very open, I'm very welcoming. I hate when people promote themselves shit in my stream, and I know other streamers don't care, but at my Discord, I hate promotion in my Discord. It's just a hangout spot, because I want y'all to really get to know each other, love each other, and chat. Like, I don't do all that. Like, and I don't mind if you share your stuff anywhere, so just talk to me. Like today, Momo hit me up and was like, hey, can I share these badges I'm making on a sale? And I was like, no, I can't do it, because then everybody else is gonna do it. You know what? And then I said, you know what, fuck it, you asked me. Most people do not ask me, so I'd say fuck it, just go ahead and post it there. So I just think it's I also set boundaries. I still, to this day, like I probably not as much recently, because I feel like I want to normalize being very open with your feelings and stuff, and people still understanding it. I want to normalize setting boundaries and people not being offended by it. If somebody can say to you, oh man, I don't like the outfit you wearing, and you have to take that criticism and be like, you know what, I appreciate your opinion, maybe I'll wear something different next time, I'll look into it, whatever. If we can say shit like that, and we're supposed to be okay with being honest with people, how come I can't tell you, I don't like when you tell me that? I don't like when you point shit out, like especially in front of people or whatever. Like, if you don't like something I'm wearing, don't look at me. Don't look at me. If my ass is out, like, that's why I like Lizzo. Like, whatever, she wears a lot of crazy shit. Is that my cup of tea? No. But it's her body, it's her life. Like, let her live that. Now, is there places for that? Yes. Some of the places she's done stuff at, I don't agree with. But on her TikToks, that's her home. You know what I'm saying? On her videos, that's her videos. That's where all that shit is okay. But also, you know, sometimes when people are even on the other side of the body positivity and the side of, you know, body positivity, they still are crossing boundaries with that and using that shield of, hey, I'm protected by all these people because of body positivity, that I'm going to cross other boundaries for other people. It's kids around. That's a boundary people, they cross all the time. You know, taking her ass out in the middle of a basketball game, didn't she do some shit like that? That's a boundary. You know, and it's a sport. You know what I mean? It's professional sport going on. So there's on both sides of it. It's bad. It's really bad. Have y'all ever crossed any boundaries yourself? Knowingly crossed a boundary, and like, you know what, like for like petty reasons or whatever reason, Vaughn?
It's the only petty thing that I used to do was, oh
shit.
And I can't even complain sometimes. The only petty thing I done, honestly, was be an e-girl back when it never even existed.
What?
I was a literal voice whore on Xbox back when I was like a teenager. And I used to love taking the attention of boys away from girls.
Oh, you was one of those.
I was a bitch. But in real life, as far as boundaries go, I think I guess I can say it was out of curiosity. I got a little too curious with someone, and
we're listening.
I got a little too curious with someone and basically pushed them into a relationship they didn't want to be in, because I was kind of invested in their whole little love life, like shipping them with someone else, and that's it. I knew it was pushing boundaries, but I was just curious. That's all.
And does that affect you now, like in your mindset of like,
Yeah.
I push these boundaries now. There's somebody else out there that thinks the same way you used to think, that might be trying to push the same boundaries.
Yeah.
It's scary, right? Because
A lot
trust
of
me,
people.
it's scary. I've had that not very similar, but situations where I crossed boundaries got too deep and crossed boundaries, and to the point where my mental state is like, oh shit, I did this. So I'm paranoid now, because who's going to cross the boundaries that I set when I didn't even used to do that? And I hate the excuse, I was younger. Yes, we were younger, but we know better. We know that if a stove is on, it's fire on it. It's like hot and red. We know the stove is hot. Some motherfuckers still touch it just to see. And that's what the same equivalent. We know what's wrong and wrong. We know we're not supposed to throw glass through somebody's window. We know we're not supposed to TP people's house. But we did it. And even being young, to me, is not really an excuse, because we know exactly what we did. It's a bad decision, just like anything else. As adults, we know shit is bad sometime. Oh, taco right here. It's got cheese, tomatoes, onions on it, bell peppers. Oh, I know I get indigestion, but fuck it. Bad decision. You know what I mean? We all know these things, and it's kind of crazy how we pass that. Have any of you two ever crossed a boundary you thought maybe big or small? Add what you got for me.
Oh man, so many, Lord, to choose.
Who you punch in the face?
I actually haven't punched anybody in the face, but I did try to stab my best friend once.
Oh my god.
He pissed me off, and I was young and dumb. Always an excuse, right?
I was young and dumb.
He just said something that really upset me, and to this day, I don't even remember what he said, but I remember trying to stab him, and everybody was like, "You can't be going around stabbing people." I was like, "Yes, I can." So, you know, him and his brother and my cousins all trying to push me off of him. I'm like, nah, he getting it today. He going to meet his maker. But I don't know, like I would say the biggest regret I have to this day, and it's shaped my life since then. Like there are certain things like I'll hype everyone else up, but I won't hype myself up because I'm like paranoid about going too far now. It's because everybody was like, all my life I've been told you can be very charismatic. You're so sweet and you're so kind and you're just because I try to be open too. So it's like you're so sweet and kind and open and you can be so charismatic and people just do what they want, what you want them to do automatically. And I'm like, nah, they don't. But then there was a situation when I was younger that I remember. I had to be around 11 or 12. I got it was the summertime. I used to babysit. I had this little side hustle, $5 a kid, $5 an hour. So, little side hustle. I took all these kids. We had bikes and stuff. You know, we lived in Texas. So, you know, we had bikes and stuff. We was growing right around Grand Prairie.
Oh, yeah,
And
GP.
I told them, yeah. And I told them, we're going to do a foundation fundraiser to raise money for the troops. Now, this is way before everything got crazy, y'all. Just FYI. It's an excuse, but it's not like, you know, but I'm just saying, it was before everything was crazy. But I was like, we're going to raise money for veterans and stuff. So we went around, it's the summertime, we went around with all the kids on the bikes and stuff, collecting money for veterans. And like we had these little posters and was just out there like, hey, we're raising this money. And and the funny thing is I didn't even take any of the money. I gave it to the kids so they can have like summer money, you know, so they can get their little treats or whatever. Cause
Right.
you know, I lived in the hood in GP, you know, on the north side. It was kind of, so I just wanted to make sure they had stuff to do for the summertime, whatever. I actually, you know, we was able to talk somebody into taking us to Six Flags off that money and everything like that. So they was able, like some of them didn't even. Yeah, it was horrible. Okay, it was horrible. We made a decent little change, and it was bad. But I ran into someone and he was an old vet, and he sat down and talked to me about it, and I stopped doing it after I talked to him. But ever since then, I'm paranoid to do anything. Like, I'll hype everyone else up, but I won't do it myself because that kind of stuck with me throughout my younger years going into adulthood. Like, oh, you just get, and like when people do stuff for me, I'm like, please do this because you want to, not because I said something or because you think I'm nice. Shit, I'd rather have people do for me that hate me than people who think I'm a kind person, because I've been so paranoid since then. Like, don't do for me if you think I'm nice. Do for me because you want to, if you want to, but don't do it because you think I'm nice or this, that, and the third, because no, that messes with me.
So I got a question. Do you ever think that, so if I'm just getting it straight, so the thing happened, y'all got the money for everything, and y'all decided as a group to spend that money on the wrong things, not the troops and stuff. So from then, you've been kind of scared to do anything at all and being, like, I guess, in charge of it or just doing anything on your own, because are you scared that you might get tempted to do something you don't want to do anymore?
That, and cause I've done things, like I've actually done fundraisers and stuff. I try not to be in charge of anything, but I support a lot of different fundraisers, a lot of different things, getting together and supporting different organizations and stuff like that. But I'm very I'm hands-on without being hands-on. Like, I'm always in the background, don't want to be around, just know that I'm here but don't acknowledge it.
See,
So,
I feel like, to me, I feel like if you're in charge of something, you control how it goes. Like, if y'all get to, like, especially with the troops, because that's a dirty thing. Like, I'm not saying that you're young. Like you said, you're young and
It
dumb.
was a dirty thing.
It's a dirty thing, and you talk to a vet. That should make you want to like do more. Like, hey, you know what? That's crazy. Okay, it did. So, but you just don't want to be.
That's what made me stop.
Okay, but I don't want it to make you stop. I wanted to make you keep going. I wanted to make you change, not stop. Don't stop the force. Just convert it into the positive. Because once you stop, it's like somebody. It's like the same thing as you're hanging out with Jinkies, right? And somebody's saying some racist stuff, and you're friends with both people. If you're just sitting there, you just stop. You're not doing anything.
Oh no.
You know
I
what I'm saying?
speak up.
Yeah, I know you will. This is just an example. So it's the same thing. It's like, to me, is something bad. One bad thing happened. You just stopped. You didn't switch it to positive energy and try to give back more, or take charge and be like, you know what, y'all, this is what we're going to do. We're going to be more hands-on with the kids to let them know that this is the right way to do it. This is the right way to support people and stuff like that. Change it, convert the energy. You know what I mean? And I know there's a lot of anxiety with it, but you know, like, I know I've done fuck shit, and I was like, I need to push. If I stolen anything, I was okay.
Oh, I've paid, like, I can honestly say that even though I say I stopped, like, I did switch the energy. Like I said, I've been part of multiple organizations and everything else. It's just that I try not to be too nice, put it that way. Like in my interactions with people, I'm not very nice. I can be very blunt at times. You know, I might joke around and be hee hee ha ha, but when it comes down to the get down, I'm very like, this is how I am when it comes down to the get down. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be nice. I'm just gonna let it know, like, this is what it is. This is how it's gonna go. And if we can't agree to this, or we can't find some compromise and meet in the middle, I can't do it. And that's kind of how I am in those situations, because I'm very paranoid of that situation. Like, it kind of lit a fire behind my butt, and you know. So, but I did transfer that energy, and I do a lot of different things as far as that is concerned. Like I said, I was really young. Like, I'm 31 now. That was over 20 years ago. So, and it's the only time I've actually stole from people, and I learned my lesson. And I feel like I paid that back. Like, it doesn't haunt me or anything like that, because I feel like I've paid that back. I'm part of like a vets union or whatever. I try to go out and do that. And the sad thing was, at the time I didn't think about it, but like, my mother is buried in a cemetery where the veterans and everyone gets buried in, because of my stepfather, my dad that raised me, because he's a vet. You know, my auntie's a vet. I started working with vets, doing a lot of different community-based things with vets, and going to the vet rehab center and everything when I can, and everything like that. So, like, it was a lesson that I had to learn, pretty much, and I did transfer that energy. But yeah, but it's something that still sticks with me.
It's definitely. I know we all have something that still lingers a little bit. But like you said, you learned. You only did it like one. It's not like you did like a whole bunch of times, scammed a bunch of people, and then it's like, oh, I need to change. Like, you fucked a lot of people's lives up. But I'm glad you made that change. Some people don't. Some people don't.
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing that. That's dope. What's that? My favorite. Thank you. Miss Jinky, how about you? Boundaries that you feel like you cross?
Oh, I know of one particular boundaries. It was also a literal boundary and a metaphorical boundary. So, but I was probably in second grade.
What'd you do? Second grade.
It's not bad, but it stuck with me the rest of my life.
Oh.
Because I still think about it to this day. Because I was always like a little goody two shoe, A student. I never got a B in elementary school. Period. I was just the star student, and I kind of got tired of being the star student. And whenever I would go to I was in my classroom was in an annex building outside of the school. but we had to go into the school if you had to go to the restroom. So I asked if I could go to the restroom, and this went on for like a month. I'd go to the restroom and then come out, and then I would go out to the playground. That was right where my classroom was, outside, right by the playground.
So you were
And
playing outside the window?
No, I didn't go that far. There was
Oh.
a bench, though, that I would just like go run. It was my thing to go touch the bench and then go back to class. It was my one little slice of rebellion. And I did that for a month until I got caught.
And it was like,
I
what
didn't-
are you doing?
But like I remember like going out there and then like the door opened. It's like, oh, shh, I gotta go. And I hid behind the building, and the teacher's like, I saw you.
Uh,
I didn't get in huge trouble for it. They were just, I just explained that I just ran to the bench and was going to go back into the classroom, but I got scared because
that's funny. I
Yeah,
got you.
and
Oh my god. You know what's the thing is, it's probably good that you got caught, because if you didn't get caught, just imagine how much more things you would have tried to push to see how far you could go. You know, you'd be like, oh, I'm doing this. All right, now I'm gonna do some bigger things like skip school all the way across. All right, now I'm gonna skip school with a boy. Oh, I'm gonna oh, now I have a baby. Like, what the fuck?
no, I got caught early on, and I don't even think I've told my parents that story.
Oh,
to
they're
be
watching
honest.
right now.
No, they probably just heard me because the door's open, and they're like, "Oh
Shit.
my gosh, what did she do in second grade?"
We're going to have our conversation.
I'm like, oh, come on, I'm 32 years old, and you're gonna punish me over something I did in second grade? Yeah, freaking right.
I still get in trouble for shit.
But yeah, that's but like after that, it's like I've never really had the desire to like push boundaries or, see how far I could get away with something. Because it's like there were like two instances. There's another instance in my even earlier childhood, kindergarten, where I didn't tell my parents where I was going, and I walked home to my best friend's house from school, and they had no idea where I was. So after that, I learned to always communicate with my parents and stay in communication. And then two is like, don't push boundaries because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I learned really young.
I didn't learn that young, but I got a similar story kind of like that, but I learned a little bit older. I was in high school when so everybody used to skip school. Hey, what's up, fam? We're live right now on Twitch. Not Twitch, wow. My bad. YouTube right now, having a conversation. We're doing Motivational Madness Mondays. If anybody want to come by, say hi, meet some of the lovely ladies right now on the panel. We're just talking about boundaries that people cross, boundaries that we cross, and things like that. And so if y'all want to come by, that'd be super dope. But the boundary that I did cross was very similar. I was older in high school, and all the kids used to, because I was weird. They used to skip school, go be with some girls, go party, drink, smoke weed, whatever. Me? I skipped school just to go back home. And I was like, went home. I was like, man, I'm a rebel. I'm going to walk back home because I don't want to go to school. Everybody's gone. Went home, chilled, got in trouble. I don't remember if I got in trouble or not. I just know that I was like, I wasted that. I really could have had some sex or something, but nope. I went home and played video games. That's how hardcore of a gamer I was. I wanted to finish beating the game that I didn't beat the night before. And I went home, played the game. And that was my school skipping story. So y'all, I'm not as wild as you think I am.
Well, I skipped school one time in high school too, but it's really dumb.
It was dumber than that? What'd you do?
We were told, because if we got caught doing senior skip day, we would be in trouble. But we were allowed to go to a university if we filled out an form saying we're going to go explore a university this day. So me and a couple of friends got those forms, filled it out on what would be senior skip day. And we did go to a university, but we were just, we weren't exploring nothing. We went out and had lunch and just had a good time. We didn't get in trouble because we filled out the paperwork, but we just, that was our way of up and leaving, and pretty much like putting a finger to the man on that one. It's like, we skipped school, but legally.
real. It's like we didn't really do anything. No truancy here, for sure. What's up?
Definitely have 2 stories similar to that.
Oh, what you do? Okay, let's hear. Was it a
Okay,
dumb
so-
skip story?
Oh yes,
Okay,
because
let's
I
go.
got expelled, and that's why I skipped.
Whoa, you
So,
took it too
listen.
far.
No, it wasn't even my fault. So see what happened. I was an A+ student all the way up to high school, pretty much.
That was smart.
10th
Fuck
grade
that.
and beyond was just bad. But so I went to middle school and 9th grade in Texas. So one year, what happened? I don't even remember what happened,
You
but
ain't
for some
remember
reason I got
happened?
expelled. I had in school. Okay, that's what happened. I had in school suspension, and somebody was cutting up in class, and I went off. I was like, "You're not about to do this," and the teacher didn't like it because I was cussing. I ain't gonna lie. I had a pouty mouth back then. I was cussing, and I was like, "No, they're not gonna do this." Da 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 da. And I was already had in school suspension because of it. But while I was in school suspension, they got mad because I finished all my work. They give you like a packet to do in school suspension. And I was just sitting there with my headphones on, just chilling. And they're like, "Why aren't you doing your work?" I already did it. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. They went back, saw that I did all my packets, got pissed off at me because I literally wasn't doing anything but had my headphones in. And they're like, "Well, you can't have headphones." And I was like, "I'm not about to sit in this class just sitting here. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wear my headphones. I already did all my work and everything." So,
You were aggressive back then.
yes. Yes. Very much so. I was like, "I'm just not going to do it." And so they was like, "Well, we'll just give you 1 day of out school extension, whatever." Well, I wasn't trying to tell my mama because they had called her up and it was like, "Well, we can give her out of school suspension for 3 days," or back then we had corporal punishment still. It was like the last year they had it out there, and they was like, "Or we can give her 3 swats." My mama was like, "She can't skip
What?
school. She need her education." Yeah, with the little paddle.
Yep, we
And
used
they
to get
was
that
like,
too. I had it in
yeah.
football. They
So
beat my ass.
yes. So my mama straight up told them, "Y'all better beat her ass. She can't skip school. She need her education."
Yep, black moms don't play that shit. They were
Yeah.
like,
So I got my SWAT.
They didn't feel sorry for me either. That's funny.
So I got my SWATs, had in school suspension, and I still ended up getting expelled for a day. So I'm like, "Are
Wow,
you
so y'all
serious?"
beat me and then I still got okay.
Yep. So we had like 2 sets of apartment complexes next to each other. I hid out in the other, and I was paranoid and scared because I'm young. This is a middle school. I don't we hear stories about young girls being around and skipping school and things happening, and I'm hiding out. Like, I didn't go far. Like, if anything happened, I was crossing the fence and going home. But I was like, we gonna sit it out. So I sat there and waited it out, and it was so funny because there was a park like across from our apartment complex, and it has like this bridge because there's a creek in the middle. So I was walking across the bridge, saw my stepdad with his binoculars looking out because he used to bird watch and stuff.
Hold on.
So saw him almost see me, ran off. Yeah, it was bad. And to this day, I don't know if he understood who he was, if he saw me or not, but it was just bad. It was just. I talk with my hands, by the way, y'all. My bad.
Is he still around, your stepdad?
Yes, he is. We are very close.
You should tell him this. Like, hey, did you
I
see
do.
me that
I
one
have
day?
to.
That's hilarious.
I don't think he did. I think he would have said something, but then I just started sitting on somebody's scoop for the rest of the day, and then they came out and was looking at me like I was homeless, and I was like, I'm just sitting here. I'm waiting for my friend. I got off of school early.
That's
so.
Candace said,
Yeah.
"Man, school was an experience, good, bad."
Yes.
I hated school.
100%.
100. Hated school. Vaughn, you ever skip school?
Yeah, plenty of times.
Yeah, see,
When I
Vaughn
was
is
in
different from all of us. Vaughn was definitely the bad kid. I didn't get bad until I graduated high school. That's when I got bad. Vaughn was bad her whole life until probably like 2 years ago.
No, actually, I was a very good kid until that whole puppy love situation. It fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Puppy love get us every time. Every time.
You talking about penis?
No, not
Oh,
yet, actually.
yeah. Oh, good. Congratulations. You're good.
Well, I ended up with my puppy love situation out of high school, so
Oh man.
I didn't
It'd
hear
be
it.
like
I was just playing. Well, this is funny. So, all right, tell us one of your stories, Vaughn. You got a skip story? You got a million of them. Just choose like whatever one you got. And then I got a question for y'all after.
Well, I just used to skip school with the guy who.
Oh, the same one?
Yeah. No, not him.
Oh.
But the guy that was talking about the whole puppy love situation. I didn't start skipping school until I met him. And then, yeah, it all went downhill from there. It's crazy because I was the one, and this is a whole why the fuck did you do that moment. I literally sat there and helped him get through school.
Wow.
Because he was failing bad. Like, I used to write his reports for him and everything, and I'm just like...
And he still treated you? He's a piece of shit?
He still treated me like a piece of shit. Like, I never did anything for him in his life. Like, I even spent money, like, from my legitimate first job on him, like, almost a whole grand on him throughout the last couple months we were together after I got hired.
Wow, so we have another fuck that dude in the building?
Oh, we've been had that fuck that dude. I just don't talk to him like I am right now. I just don't talk about him.
what are you doing?
Oh,
That's
good.
the best way.
The cat.
Timmy's going crazy.
Yeah, got a bad
That's
cat.
the best way to do those fuck them dudes. Just
Got some fuck them girls too.
They-
Don't think y'all.
hey,
I ain't
there's
got no fuck
there's
them
some
girls. I got a bunch of them. I have a bunch
listen.
of them. So
Fuck them people. That's what we got. Fuck them people.
we talked about boundaries set for ourselves, like briefly. Then we talked about boundaries that we've been. What's a boundary that? Well, two more questions. First, I'm going to tell y'all ahead of time so you can get your minds right. First question I'm going to ask is, what's a boundary of somebody you know that crossed a boundary that was like super crazy? And what's a boundary that you see people cross very often? Those are the two questions. I'll start off with the first one so y'all can kind of see what I'm talking about. First boundary is my little brother. When y'all was talking about skipping school, this kind of reminds me. It's also a high school story. A boundary my brother crossed. He was a kleptomaniac. He used to steal everything. He was known for going to the local store outside of our school when we during football, stealing stuff and giving it out to people, right? So we go to the store one time. It's me, my dad, my homeboy, my other brother, and we're all at the store. The guy rushes up to us when we're leaving. Hey, he needs to stop. He's stealing. We're like, what? This boy right here, he is stealing right here. So I'm like, bro, look at me in my freaking eyes. Are you stealing right now? And I could tell when my brother's lying. He got like a stupid look on his face. He's like, no. Are you sure? My dad's like, boy, you need to say something. If you're stealing, you need to tell him, because my son, what's up, B-Rye? My son doesn't fucking steal. And y'all need to, my dad's old school black guy. He didn't play in that shit. Y'all always fucking with a young black man come in here, fucking around, stealing and shit. You don't come by him. Did you see him do it? Then you need to leave him the fuck alone. So we left the store. I get home, and I'm just like, man, I know he stole that shit. I know he did. But like, nobody said nothing. So years later, we're grown up. We'll still, even like last holiday, we still found out more stuff that my brother did. He was stealing shit from my mom. But find out that not only did he steal a ankle brace, which he did have on him, and me and my dad were so aggressive towards him, they didn't fuck with him. I found out my homeboy knew about it. My best friend at the time, Brandon, if you're watching this bitch, I'm talking to you. Thanks for telling me, though, that my brother told him, and my brother threw the fucking ankle brace on top of the roof. If you're going to steal it, why not use it? So it was a crazy boundary because it put a lot of people in a very extreme situation that could have went a whole nother way. Like, bro, we saved your fucking life. I don't think he ever realized how serious that was, because that could have changed the way his life was for the rest of his life. Now he has a kid now. Now he's rapping and he's doing shows all over DFW. But just imagine trying to do that with a record. Like, people would have looked at you different. Like, and I I want to always tell him like, bro, like, you really saved your life, that bro. Like, you shouldn't just told us. My dad said he always knew because my dad felt his leg. My dad felt it, but didn't say shit. You know what I'm saying? And I could just tell. I could see it in his face. And found out years later, I was kind of pissed about it, but I was like, bro, you put yourself in a crazy situation. But luckily, he didn't. And you know, as we grew older, I ended up being the fuck up. You know, I didn't have, when I was drinking my most, I didn't have boundaries. We won't get into. But that's just kind of the situation I thought of my brother that crossed the boundary that really to really change the tone of like our whole family function. So anybody got a story like a family member or somebody y'all know, a friend that crossed the boundary, like a homegirl or a homeboy? You got one? What you got, Jinx?
It's really dumb, but it's between my brother and my sister.
Uh-oh.
And my brother and sister were very competitive at games, video games or whatnot.
I know that one.
Probably worst being Mario Tennis and 64. My sister's really good at it. My brother's pretty good at it. Let's just say the only time my brother won is when he pantsed her. Not lying.
No, why would he? Why's the boundary? That's the boundary right there.
Right there. That's the only story I have about any, because like none of my friends or anything really did anything. We were all usually just pretty good kids. I grew up in a very hardcore Christian home, so we were usually just sheltered, didn't do much. But in my own home, when it became between my brother and my sister, boundaries were crossed with video games.
Kind of, but not. So who all saw this? Everybody?
Usually all that happened was because like nobody actually saw it, but we heard it.
Oh. Hey. That's a boundary. Like a mother. My pants. It's cold.
No, but they were younger. They were younger. But still, I just remember the squeals, and my brother will just still occasionally tell the story of at Thanksgiving. He goes and reminds her that, you know, the only way I can beat you is this way, and she's like, I know, don't do that ever again. He goes, oh, don't worry, we're too old for that now.
Yeah, that's a whole different level. Anybody else got a story of cross the boundary?
Too many of them. Too many of them. I have one disturbing one, and then one that's just kind of like,
Can
Yeah,
you guys hold on for just a second?
Yeah, go ahead, because I was going to say something too. What you guys say?
I need to go. My boyfriend's sick, and he's asking for me.
Okay, yeah, go. Hey, do take care of that. Thank you so much, y'all. Everybody, go check out Miss Jinkies. You want to put your I don't know if your link will work, but put your link in there so everybody can follow you. Please go check out Miss Jinkies, y'all. She's got to go handle. You know, us men, we fucking can't handle shit when we're not feeling good.
Yeah, no, he might have COVID. We don't know yet.
Oh shit, yeah, go do that. Well, don't go and get
Well, I'm not
ill.
gonna go there,
I
but he
hope
wants to talk and stuff.
No, I can't back. Somebody asked if I can backflip. Fuck no, I can't backflip. You know what? I could probably try, but I promise you, I'm going to the hospital. Y'all, if anybody's here right now watching on TikTok, we're live on YouTube right now. We're doing Motivational Madness Mondays. If anybody's around, if you're in the Discord and you want to jump in too, it don't matter. This is for anybody that just kind of want to talk about some motivational and deal with mental health and kind of really figure out their lives. We're talking about boundaries right now, and so that's what you say, Jinky?
So I put the link in for my Twitch, but I will talk to you guys again soon. Feel free to reach out. You can find me in Brother Darkness's Discord. You can at me if you need to find me for anything. I also do art, so
Yes, she does art.
So I'm just throwing that out there.
You need art or somebody to talk to, you got right there.
Yeah.
So thank you again
so much all day. Thank you again for being here on the official It's the second episode, but it's the official first that actually is actually
Goes up.
recorded.
All right. Well, I will talk to you guys later. I have a sneaky suspicion I'm going to be playing Minecraft while he's completely feeling crappy. So
Oh,
yeah. So I'll talk to you guys later.
see ya.
Bye.
Hope he gets
Bye-bye.
well.
Thank you.
Yes,
Bye.
indeed.
Later. 5 said, Yellow said, talk about win at all costs, right?
Yeah.
All right, fam. What you got, Ad? What you got?
Okay, so the craziest one, and I'm gonna say that one because that one's a little disturbing.
What?
That put me
Don't
in
say
a.
that one.
It put me in a bad spot. I was like, hold up. Okay,
Hold up.
so there's, like I said, I used to babysit my brother. I'm like, I want to say I'm 11 or 12 years younger or older than my brother, but my
Oh,
baby
damn.
brother had him and his little friends. I was babysitting one day, and I was just like, let's play a game. We'll play hide and seek, and we're playing hide and seek, and this little girl, it was this little girl, my brother, her brother, her brother and my baby brother, they're both best friends, whatever. She's like a year or two. She's like 9 at this time. So she's like 9. It's my brother and his friend. They're like 6 or 7. And then it's their little baby sister who is like 4, 5 maybe. And we're all, I'm just trying to get them, to have some fun. And, I was like, well, let's go play hide and seek. So she was like, hide with me, the oldest one, the like 9-year-old. I was like, okay, sure. And when I tell you, this little girl scared me, she pinned me up against my bathroom door and started filling up on me. And I was like, hold up. Like, no, what is you doing?
What the fuck?
Yes. I got molested by a little 9-year-old. It was sad.
Oh boy.
Fuck.
And I was just like,
Wow.
I went to my mom. I was like, I'm not babysitting them no more. Like, I don't know what's going on at their house. I don't want my brother over there.
Who's this
And
little
you need to
hoe
talk
right
to
here?
somebody.
Oh
Like,
Lord.
I was like, I don't know where she getting that from. But we're not going down with this. The sad thing was their older brother was Papa, and he was the drug dealer, and he sold my mama weed and everybody else in the hood. So
Oh, so there's a lot of fuck.
Yeah.
a lot of fuck shit. A lot of.
There's no
So I
telling what
was
this
just
girl
like,
is doing now. If that was her energy at 9, shit, whatever she is now.
I was like, I went and I was like, listen, sweetie, if you need some help, if somebody's touching on you, you can let me know, but that's not appropriate. And I felt bad having to have this conversation with her because she's
No,
9.
she need to hear that.
Like, you shouldn't have any, like, I'm just like, why? This shouldn't be something in your head to be like trying to fill up on somebody. I was just like, what?
Yeah.
So that, I quit babysitting after that. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
He's like, I retired. Fuck these kids. For real.
Shortly after that, I actually moved. I went and lived with my actual father, so I was away from him. But it was weird. That was just like, that was one of the creepiest moments in my life, and boundaries and everything. Just like, I had no clue what to do. It was just shocking.
She would have got hit with the Hadouken. And now I'm
For
in
real.
trouble because of her. That she smashed hit the floor. Why you beat her ass? She didn't touch the boundary.
Thankfully, I was able to just like get up off of her and run away. But I was just like, because this little girl was strong for 9. Like, she husky like I was husky. So, so for a little 9-year-old, she was a little strong. And I was just like,
hold on, little bitch.
Lord help me, please.
Hey, some of the comments, you got the comments popping. B-Right said, not babysitting them freaky little freaky kids. Yellow
at
said
this
that
point, I'd rather
quickly.
yeah, I'd rather babysit baby kids. That's all I know.
Yeah, what the fuck? That girl is doing some shit right now. She's working at Players Club. Shit.
But and then the other one was with the whole civil rivalry. My stepbrother. was the athlete of the family. You know how football is with all the families. So
Yeah,
he was the athlete of the family. Go ahead.
No, I was like, yeah, no, we all played sports.
Hmm.
He's making.
Oh. He was that one. Yeah, he went to all the sports. Had like whenever he was home, it was just him and the whole team. Like he was one of those. He was really into it. And I remember when we were younger, he was supposed to watch me. He took me to the park, and this was when we lived in California. That's where I was born and raised, California. So I was really young, and he took me to the park. He was supposed to watch me, but he was like, "You stay here at this park. I'm gonna go with my friends. We're gonna have a rock fight. I'll come back and get you later." Now,
That's
me being the
scary.
goody two shoes I am, I didn't listen to that. Me being the goody two shoes I am, I'm like, no, you're not leaving me here. I don't know these people. You supposed to watch me. I followed him. He thought he was leaving somebody. He wasn't leaving nobody. But I showed up at the rock park. I'm like, it was off like they had like those big cement tubes that they use
So
for
were you like on a ninja? Were you like using your ninja skills to find out where they were?
No, I followed him. He wasn't paying no attention. He young. He just trying to get to his friends.
Right.
So I just followed him. So I show up at the place they're having this rock fight, and it's like outside of the highway or whatever, where like those big cement tubes that they use for the highway and stuff. You see them on the side sometimes. It's like an empty place like that. I'm sitting out in the middle. They throwing rocks, having a rock fight. I get busted upside the head with a big old rock.
Just stayed your
And
ass
that's
back.
all. No, because I didn't know. And then, it's all his little friends thinking it's funny. I'm sitting here just leaking, just all over the place. And he's like, I told you not to come. You should have stayed your butt to the park. And I'm like, I wasn't trying to stay at the park because I'm young. And, I done heard some stories. My favorite movie back in the day used to be, what's the one with LL Cool J as a DJ and the strippers? That's the stuff we watched back then. So I'm like, I'm not trying to end up with a black eye because some dude tried to touch me. So that was my mindset when I was a young kid. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. So yeah,
What you
that
got,
happened.
Vaughn? Somebody you know that cross.
My son.
Your son.
He keeps trying to cross every single boundary ever lived. Like, literally, he almost ran out of here with no underwear on.
He do me.
No, but in all actuality, yeah, him too. But,
Sorry. He be doing that
I'm not
shit
gonna
all
discuss that. As far as people in my family that have crossed boundaries.
Oh, my mic's clipping. Hold on real quick. Does it sound better now? I worked on this mic yesterday.
You sound good to us, but you probably, I don't know what's going on in that.
I'll check the recording later. All right.
Let's see.
Huh. You know what Virgie said?
Who?
Virgie said, well, I'm not looking forward to that because they just got a newborn. So they ain't seen all stuff. They haven't been through what you've been through.
Yeah. If it's a little boy, I believe he's going to want to be naked all the time. But then again, we kind of, oh, it's a girl. Maybe. I don't know, because we were really easygoing before the whole streaming thing, and we let him run around all nudie and stuff for a little bit, and then he got a little too comfortable, especially when it came to potty training. He had to be a little nudie, but that's fine.
Enjoying that freedom before you get older, when you have to wear, we stuck to these clothes out now. I miss the walk around, but now like I can't, cause it'd be cold outside, so I can't be like out here representing for the 99 and the 2000.
I'm trying to find something that isn't very messed up.
You got some extreme shit. I bet it's making me nervous. Cause Vaughn be like, man, yeah, I told him not to. He put it in my butt. Whoa!
Those boundaries are crossed.
Oh my god!
A lot. By accident though. That's the crazy part, right?
Let's just say it's an accident.
No, but honestly, all that I got, I really don't feel comfortable discussing.
Yes, don't do that. If you don't
I will
feel,
be gratefully honest.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, don't do that. Don't,
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
don't feel comfortable, don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
that's
Just-
part. Cause I'm gonna ask you later in private conversation. 'Cause I am intrigued.
That's fine. But
I mean, if y'all want to get to some nitty gritty, I could. The latest one that really pushed me overboard, and I hate to talk about it because they be like, "Don't talk ill of the dead," because this person then passed away. But
Oh, do you want to do this?
I have a so-called uncle who taught me how to play pool. And let's say he got a little handsy sometimes.
Oh, hell no.
And just on the low, just really say some slide remarks, but it is what it is. And what irked my nerves was I had a puppy love situation, and it was everybody in my family was like, he's no good, he's just using you, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I thought it was mighty funny how the same uncle who be filling me up on the side can sit in my face and be like, oh, they just using you for your body and this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, are you serious right now?
Really trying to lock you in.
Yeah, I'm like, do we need to talk about your misdeeds? Because I'll let it all out. But you're quick to be like, oh, I don't want that dude in here and da 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 da. I don't want you in here. You crossing boundaries that you shouldn't be crossing. I'm like, are you serious? That like pissed me off because I'm like, ain't that about a
Like, I'm gonna tell
double
your ass,
standard knee hockey? Like, seriously. Oh, I spoke up about it. I kind of let something slip before, and ever since then, his wife don't like me.
That's
Like,
that's the
she
thing. When you tell the
just.
truth, people like. That's why I see why people don't like telling people because people don't fucking listen.
Mm-mm,
And I think that's
they
fuck
don't.
shit. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's fuck
not
shit.
at all.
They don't.
And it happens a lot, unfortunately. Like when you speak up or you say something about it, people just be like, "Oh, you're just saying that because you're mad," or "You're just saying that because you're trying to get somebody in trouble," and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, what makes you think that someone will speak up and say it? Like, granted, certain things do happen, but if someone's not trying to make a big deal about it, they're not trying to do nothing, they just say something and walk away. What makes you think they just saying that to make an argument? You should be able to see the difference between someone saying something and pushing at it because they trying to start a fight, than someone who's like, yeah, well, this happened, and you don't, and you're gonna do what you will with it, but I know what happened, and this is my truth, and I'm walking away from it. Like it's one thing where they're like, oh, I'm gonna call the cops and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and then they just run your name through the mud for no reason. I didn't do that. I said what I had to say and left it alone. So it's like when you say what you have to say, it's sad when people don't believe you. But unfortunately, it does happen. So, anybody ever on here and stuff happens, just know that I believe you. And there's a lot of I actually saw this poem. It was on TikTok, and I wish I would have saved it because it was so good. Because it was about silence, and she was explaining how she told everyone about her rapist, and she got to the point where she became quiet again because everybody was like pushing her to tell her story, and she told it. And when she told it, everybody like it just became a fuck fest, and she got quiet again, and she kind of wrote a poem to her silence, like, you were there for me when no one else trusted me or when everybody else just wanted to hear the story for their own gain. And it was just such a powerful poem to me because I was like, yo, sometimes you have to be in that silence, but when you feel comfortable to speak up, say your piece. And you don't have to say your, and my biggest thing is you don't have to say your piece to the person, to your family, but say your piece to somebody that you can trust. And if you feel like you're not ready to say your piece, then don't feel like you need to say your piece. You will say it when you need to. And if you're quiet and somebody be like, well, why you didn't say anything? Because you didn't have the safe space to do that. And don't let anybody make you feel like you should have spoke up sooner than you did. If the fact that you spoke up is good enough, and the fact that you stay silent is good for you too, because you have to be in a safe space to speak on certain things. And if you don't feel safe to speak on certain things, don't let anybody force you to. And that's my biggest thing when it comes to stuff like that.
I feel different a little bit about it, and I respect it. So I'm not like trying to challenge it. I just
no.
This is a conversation, and this is one thing I've seen it happen to too many people that I love and care about, that they don't say nothing, and these people that do this are still living their life doing this to somebody else. The more we don't speak up about it, the more they're going to mess up somebody else's life and continue to do it. And I get it. I get the safe space because it is real talk. Like when you're young, you don't know where to fucking go. But as soon as you get the opportunity, go say something to somebody. If you got to go to the police yourself, and that's one thing they need to teach in school more, is really speaking up when something happens. Because I know people that's got multiple girls, young girls. I mean, if people spoke up sooner, R. Kelly wouldn't went crazy like he did. You know what I mean? And I know it's a different situation, but
no.
Oh, but I think it's very important that you have to say something, because I've seen so many adults my age that's mentally fucked up, and I'm also a person that didn't speak up when shit was happening to me, and it fucked my mental health up my whole fucking life. There's a lot of shit I have not shared with people, and as a victim of stuff like that, that's been through a weird shit multiple times from different people in my family and shit that my family probably don't even know or believe me about, is fucking crazy. And I never said shit. You know what I mean? And so I'm a big advocate of speaking the fuck up, because somebody could get killed because you didn't say nothing. And I wish I was more like, that's why we were talking last night on our podcast on Verified Reckless. If we can go back and live younger and kind of change our life, like I would have fucking shut some shit down. At some points, I probably thought to me it was normal. Like I thought, oh, this is normal. I'm into this shit. But then I got older. I'm like, yo, that was some weird ass shit. There's a lot of weird fucking shit that happened that shouldn't happen, and that I should have said something. And if I had the knowledge I have now, even if it cost me my life, I would have spoken up if I could save somebody else.
Yeah, I totally get that, and I applaud people speaking up. Like, speak up, like that's the goal. But unfortunately,
it's not always the
in certain
truth.
situations.
Yeah, you can't always.
In certain situations, you can't.
You can't. You really can't. And that's the scary part. Like, if you get any window where you feel like you can, you fucking go do that shit. Run off. Go tell somebody. And like you said, it's also the people you tell. Because if you tell your mom or some shit, they're going to like make that loud and make you the bad guy. A lot of times.
A lot of people sweep it under the rug to keep the family dynamic going.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's why you got
to.
That's why.
Yes. Well, you know about that shit
and that's
too.
why it's like you can speak up. You can speak up at times, but when it gets swept under the rug, you start thinking, well, it's not worth speaking up.
Yeah, that's when it really.
It's not worth saying anything. That's why when you have that silence, and that's what I mean by silence. When you go back into that silence, because it's so soul shattering to speak up and then somebody tell you it didn't happen, or don't tell anybody, or sweep it under the rug, even though the whole family knows. It's
Excuse me.
And you go back and you retreat into that self. It's not that you didn't want to speak up. It's not that you wasn't trying to let it be known so they couldn't do this to someone else. It's that you couldn't. Your voice wasn't loud enough at that time. And I know from my point of view and my experience, I had to actually forgive myself, because I was in a similar situation where I did try to speak up. I went to different authorities and everything.
And they still didn't listen.
But it still got shut down because I was so scared that even though when I tried to speak up, they thought I was joking, or they thought that I wasn't telling the truth, or they didn't look into it. Like I couldn't it was a situation where I was like, someone in my family is being a bad person and I can't say anything because of the situation, but I need somebody to come out and take a look. I've had CPS cases on me where they literally, oh, we see nothing's going on, because when they came and visited, all you see is a happy-go-lucky kid with a smile on her face, just very loving and kind. So you was like, oh, she's in a great place. It's okay.
That's scary.
It is scary.
It happens.
It's very scary, and it's a lot of parents' fault, man. They don't take the time to listen to these kids. And here's another thing that's also is just as scary. This is probably even, believe it or not, scarier than that situation is somebody that lies just because they don't like somebody. There's also kids that don't like stepdads and say shit and get these people in jail that never touch these kids. They don't like the kids, but because they don't like them, they say it. So it's like a very, very fucking sketchy, scary situation to be in, because some of these kids do fucking lie. Now, most likely, more times than not, it's that they're telling the truth. I will always investigate the situation and see if my son ever said something. I'm going to investigate. Oh, mom did this, whatever. Bet. I'm finna go see what's up. I'm about to go see what the fuck's up, because
hey, Danny cams and everything.
yes, I've dealt with the shit, and like B-Rai said, he says, me too, bro. It's real. I'm sometimes I still may not speak out, but definitely better at it now. And exactly, like when you get older, I feel like you get better at that shit. Like that's probably why I know me for sure, very more outspoken and speaking on boundaries this year, because even last year I still, when people just like crossing boundaries, I'd rather like remove them from my Discord or just stop talking to them instead of addressing the problem. And me not addressing the problem I'm having with the person is not fixing the problem. It's covering the problem. It's letting them continue to run rampant and be that person. So now, and everybody's watching this, if you cross a fucking boundary this year by me, I will say it. You might lose me as a friend. If that's your choice, me, I will continue to be your friend, but I just got to let you know. And the same thing, if I do anything that crosses anything, fucking tell me, bro, I didn't like that shit. My bad. Let's talk about it. Let's figure this out. Because you can't let people keep going around doing shit. Like if I see you kill somebody, I'm snitching. You're not going to continue to kill somebody.
This the place they did it over there. Yeah. I even got a picture. Yeah. Here you go.
Yeah, I grew up in the hood, but I didn't live by the hood rules. Like, you know what I mean? Like you kill somebody.
That's the funny thing though. Hood rules ain't what they used to be, because hood rules used to be, we all family, we all gonna look out for each other, you know. We gonna make sure if we gonna eat, they gonna eat. Like the rules ain't what it used to be, because when I was growing up in the early 90s to now, it's totally different. Everybody out for themselves, nobody cares. They stepping on everybody to get to the top, and it's like, what happened? Like even like when you think about the Black Panther Party and that's what everybody's blaming, media. And I'm like, why? We can all eat. If we all chip in, we can all eat. But we can't be greedy with it.
Exactly. We all eat. That's a healthy diet if we all eat. But if somebody eats too much, why you so fat up there, bro? Why we still down here starving? That's real shit. Mm-hmm. That is real shit. Virgie says,
the worst.
And it's not even that I don't think anyone will believe me. Hold on. Let me read the first part. That's where I'm at at now, and probably will only keep that what happened to me between me and my therapist and Mango. That's his name. I was Deontay, but I call him Mango because that's his nickname. Don't want to make it a thing. I feel you. And it's not even that I don't think anyone will believe me. It's still the guilt that I feel from happening, even though I know it wasn't my fault. Working on it to make sure my daughter knows boundaries and knows she can come to us with anything. But yes, that's fact. You know, I'm having a situation being taken seriously, but them people trusted to understand does suck. Yes, facts. Yeah, shout out to my Facebook and YouTube fan, man, too, man. Like, y'all make sure y'all go follow B-Rai Express on YouTube and go follow Virgie, Mango and Virgie on Facebook. I need y'all on a couple episodes on the podcast because I wanted to talk to like people that stream on other platforms and stuff and stuff like that. So y'all kind of encouraged me to get back on this YouTube grind and start chatting it up too. So and but fuck Facebook though. Fuck Facebook though. I might, but the shit we say on here and the stuff we say on Twitch we cannot say on Facebook. Facebook is way too strict for me.
Can
so
I
yeah.
just-
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, can I just say something to Virgie real quick?
Yeah.
Keep working on self-love, because that shame, like we all hold shame and guilt when we go through a lot of things. But working on self-love and just constantly reminding yourself that it's not your fault, it won't necessarily always get better, but you'll build yourself up and you'll feel that shame and guilt less. Because in the midst of feeling that, you kind of get stuck on that feeling, but it can be replaced with self-love, self-confidence, just boundaries. like we talking about
That's what we here
boundaries.
for.
Building your boundaries will help with that. And it's funny because it sounds ass backwards in the society we live in, but having a fuck it mentality and being selfish in the right way actually helps. Be selfish in exactly. Be selfish in the fact that you're gonna love yourself more than you love someone else. You're not gonna let them come in and take a shit in your living room, sit on your couch when you told them not to sit there.
If you shit
basically.
in my living room, I'm shooting y'all. Straight.
Exactly.
What the fuck, bro?
You're not gonna let somebody run up in your house and just eat all your food and then not say anything. And if you do that, well, that's some boundaries. Now you need to build a boundary up.
Nope.
So it takes a lot.
It does. Before I ask this next question, I want Vaughn. Did you had any situation?
Yeah, I got too many situations that I don't feel comfortable talking about.
Okay, same. Okay. Yeah, same. I'll just give y'all a brief, and that's it too. It's a lot. I really don't talk to many people about it as well. I've talked to a few of my friends about it, things, but I never got like serious. I know one time I did try to speak up on something, and everybody laughed at me. So I was like, whatever. But one thing is, we're going to start teaching our kids as adults to speak up and start asking questions, because one thing kids might want to ask the questions, is there any in a safe space away from everybody else? I just want to let you know, if anything's happening, anything's bad going on, be honest with me and have a conversation. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to make you safe. I'm going to make sure anything that's bad's happening to you, I'm here for you. You can always come to me. I'm always going to listen to me. I'm always going to listen to you. Just be honest with me, and I always will be honest with you. I think that's very, very important. And that's something that when I get a little bit closer with my son, I'm going to talk to him about, because it's very important. But
I do. Yeah. I do that after every time he gets out of school. Like, I'm like, did you have a good day at school? What happened? Is there anything you want to tell me? All that good stuff. Like, I don't try to press, but I try to basically put it in the flow of, you can talk to me about anything. You can tell me what's going on with you. You know what I'm saying? So when he does feel comfortable and he finally lets it out, if something happens to him, he'll come to me right away.
Oh.
So
that's perfect. Look at you, Vaughn. That's why he loves you so much. He annoys you because he knows you care. But here's a real question. I'm gonna ask y'all this real question.
Can I just say, I wish more mothers would do that. My mom did that with me, and even though she did that, and I did tell her some things, I was too scared to tell her certain things because of who it involved. But even then, my mom, she had an inkling, and she did take steps to try to protect me, even though I didn't say anything. So, but I wish more mothers would do that.
Yeah,
and have that conversation.
Fathers too, like is especially because you probably feel like parents, because your dad is the guy. Your mom's the nurturer, your dad's the protector, and sometimes the mom's both, sometimes the dad's both, and whoever you feel like, if you need to talk to both or whoever one, just find somebody you can talk to. And make sure whoever, parents, if you tell them, because usually it's Yeah, whoever you can talk to, you can trust. That's not that person that's doing it. Of course, confronting them right on is not going to get it fixed. It's gonna. If you keep doing it, I'm gonna tell, or you tell, I'm gonna kill you. That's some scary shit as a kid. That's some scary shit as a kid. But as an adult, you're like, man, I would have told you, you ain't gonna do shit, bitch.
You can try to stop. Like whenever things are happening, if you feel safe enough, like I tell my little nieces and nephews all the time, if anything happens, you are okay to say stop. If you don't like something, I don't care what it is, you at school or whatever the case, if they have a problem, tell them to call your mama, tell them to call your daddy, because at the end of the day, if you do not like something, you are allowed to say stop. Stop and no is the most powerful word in this word. You can say no at any point. Granted, there's consequences when you say no, but you are allowed to say no. If you don't feel comfortable and you really just, are in a space where you just can't do it, say no. If you are having things happen to you, you can say stop. Say no. Say it over and over and over again if you need to, because it might not get you out of the situation, but it might help you somewhat. I know I finally got the courage in my situation to say stop. Like I knew better than to say I'm gonna tell, but I kept saying stop, and the time frame between things started to lengthen, I guess. So I would encourage say stop,
and
say
that's what
no.
leads me to my next question, and it might get a little aggressive because it's going to be a doozy of a question. Did that experience make you a stronger person? Do you think that it needed to happen for you to be that person to actually start saying no? You would have, say for instance, you didn't, nothing ever happened, and then shit, you got older and very similar situation happened, or such. It could be at work, you see somebody stealing money out the bank or something else, and if you didn't have that mentality that you already have, or if you didn't have that mentality this already with that, do you think that without that skill you would, and I guess we can't really say that because we're not living that, but do you honestly think, and this is just like right now, that it's made you, as fucked up as it is, and it is fucked up, it's not right, it's not okay, it made you more of an aware? You okay? Did you dab?
I sneezed.
Oh my bad. I was like, oh shit. Oh no.
The sneeze dab.
But do you feel like it made you a more focused, aware, overall stronger person?
I'm gonna let Bonbon go first because I talk too damn much.
No, you're fine. You trust me.
Just a little bit.
You don't know me.
No, Vaughn can go too. Don't think you can't.
Yes and no. It made me strong enough to know that there's some really disturbing people in the world, and it made me stronger as a mother, looking out for my son. As far as me going through it and getting older, all that good stuff, nah, not so much. Not so much. I mean, over time, yeah, I grew that, courage to just tell people, no, to just reject everything and to ignore advances and stuff like that people try to do. But other than that, no, it didn't help me myself get stronger, but get stronger as a mother.
But did it teach you more of like what boundaries should be?
I already knew what boundaries should be.
Yeah, you knew what boundaries should be, but like, did it teach you more like, because we know what boundaries is. Like I said, as a kid, we know it's not right to throw a rock at somebody's head. Sorry that happened to you. You know what I'm saying? But like,
it's happened several times. It's okay.
What the fuck? Stop going to that damn park. You better not go no more.
Oh, we'll get into that later. It wasn't.
But yeah, I'll see what you're saying though. And like, so for me, because we're going to pass it to Ad after this. And I guess I'll see what you're saying, like a yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of made me realize that people will always believe what they want to believe. No matter what you say or tell them, unless you show them the action of what you're trying to relate to them. That's the only time they're going to believe you. People don't believe what they can't see. And it made me maybe not set boundaries as much because I still had a lot of shield down on my boundaries over my life. Even still to this day, I still have a little bit because I always want to. I don't trust shit. I don't trust nobody, but like I'm trying. I know to do this kind of thing, you have to trust people somewhat. Even been in a relationship, I don't like. She's like, oh, I know she's not probably doing shit, but like I just, it's my mindset because I don't trust nobody, and I guess trust issues is a little bit different. We'll get into that next week. But it did make me realize like, don't let people do shit wrong to you. And I feel like if I didn't learn that younger, I would have been way more naive to something happening to me. I would not be able to read the signs as fast as I do now. I would have been probably really naive to people taking advantage of me because I have money or something, compared to like, oh, I know what shit can happen. And then when it happens, I pick up on that shit. I'm like, nope, getting away from it. Sorry, nope. Hey, brother, can I be on the podcast? No.
Damn.
No, I feel like seriously. I feel if I feel energy, I do pre-interviews sometimes before the streams, and I just like I want to get to know them, who they are, and I hear some stuff in their what they say, their mindset. I'll ask them everything. I'm like, all right, I'll hit you up. We'll get to this. Like I'm gonna see if I got room. I'm gonna make you. I'm like whatever. I should be more honest though, which I will be. But yeah, it made me way more. It probably didn't make me stronger, but it did make me more aware, more alert, and unfortunately more paranoid. Which paranoia saves lives.
It can.
Oh, it saved
It
my life
can.
quite often. Quite often.
I could say it saved my life a few times. I could have been in a lot worse situations, but
Oh
because
yeah.
of what I've been through, you do kind of see those signs, and you. For me, it's avoidance, D. It's avoidance and resistance. So I can say that I don't believe that it strengthened me
Mm.
on one hand, but it's a yes or no, like you said, because on another hand, it's like I became so paranoid and so anxious that I started avoiding a lot of situations where I know some shit could go down, or I became really resistant towards certain people energies, like, yeah, I'm not gonna be around you because
Yeah.
you
Energy's off.
funny.
I see
Yeah, like
I see a
we
dark
not gonna
cloud. I
vibe.
see
I
a
can't
dark
do
cloud
it.
around you, motherfucker. Like I see no
Yeah.
rainbows around you, bitch. I'm not doing it.
So it did help that. It helped my, the intuition on that end. You kind of, since you've been through something that you can see it now and kind of protect you. You become very protective of yourself, so you can protect yourself in that regard now much easier than other regards. And when it comes to boundaries, it did not help me with my boundaries. I can say that honestly. It actually made my boundaries worse. I would say for me, because I was in a space for a long time where I just didn't have any boundaries. I became so attuned to other people's energies that if I let your energy around me and in, like, I've always been on my tippy toes, like, okay, if you respond like this, how do I need to react? And kind of, the whole back and forth kind of feel. And it led to a similar people pleasing mentality in that regard, because I wanted to protect myself so much that I never cared about what I wanted, what Adamar want to do. I'm basing it off of who's around me.
Mm.
If you're around me, I'm gonna do everything to make sure you are good. You're happy. You joyful. You at least content. Because I don't need you mad around me. I don't need you yelling around me. If you get louder than me, I have a breakdown. And I can get loud, but it's in a jokey, haha. But if you get mad and don't have a strict voice, because then I have a problem. So it's like, why are you yelling at me? What's wrong? What can I do? Let me do something to fix it. Like, that's my go-to, my mindset, and I hate it because it's like that leads to people hurting you in the end.
Yeah, because they
If you're
know
around
that
the wrong people.
they know that's your
I've had
weakness,
those.
and they know that your
Exactly.
weakness. They're
You're
like, oh,
vulnerable.
every time
Mhm.
she say something I don't like, I'm gonna just turn up and get mad. Cause I've had exes where I was that guy,
Exactly.
and they be all talking crazy, and I get loud, and they get calm and shit. Like crazy bitch, you better calm the fuck down. But it is like I know I can just Even if I wasn't even really mad, I just didn't want to hear the shit.
Mhm.
Hey, sit the fuck down. Oh,
I can say that some people might need that because like,
no.
but I only
And
need that from
then she
one
threw all my
person.
clothes out the apartment. She threw
Yeah,
lotion all
see,
over
don't
my
do that.
car. Talk shit.
Lisa
Oh.
lotion.
Yeah, I had lotion. It was pretty. Yeah, she kicked me out and everything. So
Yeah.
it was the ex before now. That bitch was crazy for sure. I had to get away from like 'cause I'm gonna get into some more shit about my life. I have a past shit. I wasn't the best type of guy or person. I think it's I was a bad guy in stuff. Nothing to the level of like crossing boundaries, like weirdo. But being a aggressive person, I've been very aggressive in relation. I'll say that, and it's definitely affected my life, my mindset, and probably like my luck in life. And every time something bad happens, I'm like, fuck, why is this happening to me? But then I like look back at some of the shit I've done, especially with drinking back then, and I'm just like, probably deserved. But we'll come up with stuff in here. If anybody wants to be a regular on here, and if this helps you in any kind of way, feel free to make sure y'all come holler at me. I'll come talk to y'all. B-Rye, Virgie, anybody else is on here. If y'all want to come by and be on here next week, you know, Vaughn, you be here every week. I know, I don't want to be all over. You're here every week. If you want to come every week, come every week. I think it's stuff that we do not get to talk to people about often. And it's so dope and cool that we can talk to people that we fuck around and stream with and just have fun with, and then actually have a real conversation. And especially for us content creators and streamers and stuff, like we're small, we don't have money for therapy and shit like that, but so this is kind of what we got to do. We got to talk to each other and be open as much as possible. Yes, we didn't share everything, but we have an idea, you know, and it's very relatable. Some of our calibers might be, you know, it might be worse than others. I know my situation is kind of weird as fuck. And even as a guy, it was still different because as a boy, you think that okay, but as you grow up, you realize like that's fucked up shit. That's some fucked up shit. Oh yes, it felt good as a boy, but it was some fucked up shit. So we'll keep it at that, y'all. I think how long we've been on? Hour and 37 minutes. We're gonna keep these pretty short and brief, but I want to thank everybody that came by. Miss Jinkies is gone. Ad is in the building. Thank you so much for sharing your heart. And I want to give you a round of applause because you actually cut your camera on. And you was like, I don't feel comfortable with my camera. So showing that you're comfortable around me makes me comfortable around you. And we can continue to have this open, comfortable space right here because this is what it is. And like Vaughn, you already know, me and Vaughn, we've clashed, fought, all kinds of shit, had fun, joked, talked crazy shit, and always figured out how to get along and always made it happen. Even when people have distanced themselves away from me and things, Vaughn has always understood that I'm just a wreck and that I got problems and shit, and then understands like he's just being BD, and I appreciate that. And like if you ever got anything you have to talk to me about, Vaughn, like you're pretty honest with me. So if you're not honest enough, be more honest, you know, and just let me know what's up. So
most definitely.
Thank you. If anybody like Virgie, B-Rye, anybody else that's here or been here, if you want to come by next week, we do it every Monday, probably around 6:00. If times change, I'm going to have on Twitter. If y'all ain't follow me on Twitter, Brother Darkness 84, Brother Dark, some shit like that. I'm gonna tag everybody in the Twitter that was here tonight. When I do the clips, I'm gonna post them everywhere. If you got anything y'all want to share, like you got your links of some YouTube channels or anything you want to share in the chat, I don't know if it'll work. I don't know how to make my phone. Learn how to do more stuff. I need YouTube teaching. If y'all want people to find y'all, most likely I'll be here next week, and it's very, very important for people that look like us three here, them two in there, and everybody else, that we have these conversations and talk about it, because we don't really talk about this in our community. We're just like, oh, this shit happened in the past. Fucking be strong and move on. Like, you know, it's a lot of shit. What's up?
I want to say one thing. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
what was it? What was it? Shit.
Weak.
Oh my goodness. And surprisingly, I did smoke today. Hold on.
Dude,
Hey,
No.
sometimes you need it.
don't worry about it.
I don't. Um, I was gonna refer to Steve Wilkos. I've seen so many mothers disregard their teenage daughters when it comes to them actually coming to them and saying stuff about this kind of thing, and it sickens me because it's like, oh, my daughter was doing bad in school, so she made an excuse. No, even if that was the case, that's still something to look into.
Yeah.
It's very shameful that stuff like that is actually fucking happens. Like, people actually think like that. It's disgusting and it's disturbing. And I don't understand it. I don't understand how these mothers cannot be put in jail for putting off so much of their kids, even with young males, even with their sons. Like, just put it off because they're in love with a guy, or the
Oh
whole
yeah.
family infringement and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's fucking disgusting, and I personally believe they should go to jail for that. You
Yeah.
are an accomplice at that point.
Yes.
You might as well put me in the system because that's fuck shit. And I love this man. I've seen too many situations. I have so many homegirls with this situation growing up where she was the mom, and sorry, it's mostly the moms that I've seen in that situation. They're
Yes.
so much in love with the guy that he would never do that. Are you jealous of our relationship? And there are kids that fuck off and do fucked up shit, but most cases, I promise you, you need to do some research. Get her checked. Go to the doctor. Take your daughters to the doctor. Get her checked. If she's supposed to be a virgin and she's not, you need to get her checked. If it's DNA on her, get her checked. These kids
100.
are getting smarter. Let them know, hey, if something happens with you, I know this might suck, but I need you to get whatever evidence you can. We need to make sure we get this guy, because if you have no proof, I can't help you as much as you want me to. I will protect you. But if you can make sure you get whatever you can get, be careful and get whatever you can get. Let's get this motherfucker. Like, for real.
Even I would say even go beyond that, because there's a lot of, let's just face it, pedophiles out here that
Oh, yeah, you can look them
it
up too.
starts
Check your
off
area. Check your
as
sites.
little.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's little things that add up. Like, you could take your, because I had an instance where my mother took me to the doctor, and they're like, "Well, her hymen's not broken," and I'm like, "No, my hymen's not broken, but that doesn't mean he should be down here fiddling on me." You know?
Right.
So there's situations where you
Yeah.
need
I'm
to
talking about, like,
even
yeah,
check.
the extreme ones. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
you got lucky
Well,
that it didn't
pedophiles,
go too far.
it did though. That's the thing. It did, because it escalated. Because pedophiles out here, they groom you, and the
Oh,
more they groom you, it starts off little, with little touches here and
R.
there, and
Kelly
then you
level
can be like,
shit.
"Oh, that's fine," but then you get a certain age and things get escalated. So even if you take them to a doctor and they say nothing, pay attention to your kids. If at any time they switch up, or they get quieter, or they get more
Yeah.
exuberant, pay attention to them, because that means something. Even if it's not sexual or anything like that, something is going on, something is bothering them. That's why, for me, if your behavior switch up, if you get too happy or too sad, I'm right there. Like, what's going on? What's up? What can I do? Let me know, because if there's something going on, I want to address it.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you gotta watch. And especially nowadays, there's so many ways. If you don't believe your kid, set up a, now you might see that they're doing it, but you need to focus. And when you're gone, have that camera there and watch what whoever's doing comes in. Have to do that parents money. You need to have a mind, know that
Or your
or
son,
your son, or your son. Because
whoever it may
even
be.
more, I feel like people don't think boys deal with this, which is fucking
And that's
insane.
so stupid.
It's fucking
It's-
insane to
That's so
think
crazy.
that we're not. That's how people. We're so much more alike than people think when it comes to situations like race. We're so much white people. we're so much more alike than you think when it comes to shit like this. Seriously, everybody needs to come together on all this shit, because the one thing we throw under the table the most is pedophile shit going on in this world. There's sex rings and trafficking going around that politicians and shit cover up every fucking day. And you hear about, you hear about black folks getting shot all the time. You hear about all kinds of other shit going on. But like, how big is, why we don't have bigger funds and more attention on pedophiles and fucking sex trafficking as much as we could? It should be the biggest fucking news out there.
I feel like it's a conspiracy, and it's always been a conspiracy in my head. We're always focused. People of color, don't care what color you is. If you're a person of color, you tan, you white with a tan. It's a conspiracy in my head that we want to get so focused on this, on what people of color are doing or not doing, that we don't focus on what's real. We're so focused on what somebody looks like than actual situations and issues that we need to focus on. And it's
Yes, ma'am.
become a thing. Like, ever since even back in the day when, you hear the stories, like for me, I hear the stories, and I'm pretty sure y'all have to, about how we had Black Wall Street, this and that and third, and it was bombed. Cool, but what else was going on at that time? Because I feel like a lot of things, like, yeah, they did that and we want to focus on that, but there was other things going on at that time with the whole Emmett Till thing. Yes, that was a big thing, but behind the backdrop, everybody was so focused on that nobody was focused on what was actually going on underneath the surface of people out here, the bootlegging and the a lot of the pedophile and sex rings that was starting to pop up and all that stuff. We're so focused on the
R.
racist
Kelly,
issue
we're so
that
focused on R. Kelly, we forget about that. There's tons of other celebrities and politicians and shit out here doing the
fucked up
same
shit.
thing.
Yep.
But it's always the face of society is always towards the biggest issue in this world today, which is race. And it's like, why? Because
We worry
it's not
about,
our race. We all experiencing the same thing regardless who you is.
And then the media doesn't help but stick with narratives.
media ain't shit. That's why I don't watch it.
No.
Like, I hear about shit, I'm just like, I try to wait till I hear more stuff and get more facts on it before I start talking about it. But it's definitely, they got to put a face to something to make us forget about everything going on. Even with the COVID going on, yes, it's big news, but I promise you, there's a lot of other shit. Kobe died. We all forgot about everything else that was going on during all the things. It's all fucking propaganda and fucking cover up shit, and it's fucking crazy. And it's a few of us that see past it, and we most likely we're not big enough to even do anything. If we ever got to the point where we were, somehow we're gonna get silenced. So,
oh yeah,
100%.
it's the same thing. It's the country literally doing the same shit that these fucking stepdads and stepmoms do to their kids. That's what America is. The stepdad and stepmom, and they scare us and threaten us not to say shit, and it's not a safe space to say shit about it, because if we do, we're fucking dead, or we're deemed crazy, or nobody believes us. That's America, and that's the best explanation of it.
It's not even America though. It's the world now, because if you notice, it used to be the Western world versus the Eastern world. But if you notice, a lot of things that is mainstream now, it's getting mainstream across the board. And America, the way our society is one of those biggest things. And
like K-pop right now is literally R&B in the 90s.
Yes. And it is sad because it's like we're becoming, okay, so I understand like diversity is getting thrown out the window, everything's getting into a melting pot. That's cool. We all, because it acknowledges that we all are having the same human experience, and we all, no matter what you look like, are dealing with the same things, or somebody who done dealt with the same thing, But on the flip side of that, we're not taking the best of what we could be as a human being on this earth. We're taking some of the worst things. And I think it's funny because like when I was growing up, you said propaganda, and it made me laugh because it's funny, all the story you was told about propaganda in China and all that stuff growing up when you was in like elementary and middle school, if you look at it today, that's America. America is the one who does all that propaganda. The way they talk about how the news outlets is and all that stuff. Not to say I don't know how China news outlets and how they do their things. I'm not there. But I am here. And it's funny how when you think about it, wait a minute. We do the same thing that y'all said with propaganda and why we should hate China for back in the day. But we do the same thing 10 times worse. And not only do we do it to our own country, but we push it to China, Russia, UK, Africa, and everywhere else. And we the biggest bullies because when we push it over there, it's our way or the highway. If you don't like it, oh well. Because we're so technologically savage. And this is the way you should do things. So it's like the biggest propaganda that we are told when growing up is towards a country that I don't know if it should or should not be towards, but we don't look at ourselves and be like, we do the same thing, maybe even worse. So
When people like they come on my streams like you from America, I'm like, yep, unfortunately, yeah.
I'm from this world. I
I don't even think I'm from here.
I don't claim anybody.
I think I'm from another
I
planet.
live here.
And when the when the aliens come, take me back home. Take me to another world. Take me to another place. Whatever the words are, but yeah, I'll get it though. But yeah, I appreciate
just live here.
Right. But I appreciate y'all being here, y'all, and showing some
Thank
love.
you.
And I'll
No
come up.
Oh, I thank you for the opportunity. Anytime you want somebody to come and chat, I talk all day. So
Open anytime, any Monday. If like Vaughn popped in, I didn't even know Vaughn was coming. Like if you come, if you
that was
show
awesome. It
up,
was great to meet you.
You too, man.
you're on here. Like easy. Okay, perfect. So we did settling was the first. Still gotta figure out. And then we have boundaries, and then we're gonna talk about weight loss next week. We're gonna talk about health.
Ooh.
Yay.
So
I gotta get my grind on
yeah,
again.
so we're gonna definitely talk about health because I can relate to that more than anything. So if anybody else want to come on and talk about that, and then we'll talk about we can talk about something else.
All right, I gotta go potty, y'all.
Oh hell no. But yeah, I thank y'all so much, y'all. I love y'all for being here. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. I'm gonna come see y'all, and I'll make sure I followed everybody that was in here. And yeah, if you're not getting anything, try everything. Love your haters, grow it, love. I'll see y'all tomorrow for Family Game Night. Tuesdays on Twitch. Wednesdays I will be on Morphine's stream for his podcast. I'm doing the Too Many podcasts. I'm tired. Thursday I will be doing my podcast again, and then Friday, Saturday I'm probably going to disappear unless I'm in here vibing with everybody else. That's pretty much my plan for the weekend. It'll probably be frozen. So, Vaughn, do you want to end it with any words or tell anybody what you got going on or anything you got coming up or your schedule?
Well, no. This is all you, bro. But I am gonna say
Vaughn
this.
streams Wednesday, Wednesday at 5.
Okay, I'll do it. I just stream Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 5 p.m. A lot of the times it's random because due to some random illness that keeps popping up for some reason every time I stream. So yeah, it's all good there.
And Saturdays until 8-hour streams.
Oh my god, no.
That was a joke. All right, go ahead.
No, but in all seriousness though, if anybody ever wants to game, I'm here. I am 100% gamer. I play FPS. You want to get me into a new game, anything but sports and racing, we can fucking play. We can throw down. It's all good.
Sports and racing for sure.
Yeah, sports and racing is ass.
Especially horror games too. I see my boy Avenge is playing Pacify for a little bit. And I gotta go talk to Liz too after this because she found a dog today and it was hit. And it was a Chihuahua and she took it to the hospital and she's been kind of off. So actually probably need to go talk to her first to make sure she's okay. She's been kind of weird to me today. So I just want to go talk and make sure she's good because she loves animals more than human beings, and so I'm gotta go do that. It's important. So,
100%.
yeah, thank y'all. Love y'all. I'll see y'all next week. Talking weight loss, and we'll have more topics. I'm pretty sure. If y'all got any topics too, let me know. If you want to talk about something specific, like you feel like you need to talk about, get it off your chest. Let me know. We'll set the whole thing around you and whatever else you want to do. So, I love y'all. Peace.
Make sure to push that like button and that bell.
Yeah, hit that bell,
Yes.
like button, subscribe to me,
Subscribe.
everybody here, and I'll see y'all next week. And make sure y'all stay healthy. Don't do drugs. Do it in the butt if you like. Oh, I'm back to normal. All right, I gotta go.
Don't do that.
Bye.
That's
Bye.
Get you a doctor. Bye.